Taliban fighters triumphantly ride through Tirin Kot, one of 4 provincial capitals which fell to the group on Friday. The insurgents have now taken 18 of the country's 34 provincial capitals. Thousands have been displaced by the fighting, with many flocking to the border with Pakistan. Now the Taliban controls nearly 2/3 of Afghanistan. Those at risk of reprisals from the group are desperately trying to leave. But with many embassies closing, their options for escape are narrowing. Following the lead of the US, Spain, Denmark, Norway and the Netherlands are all withdrawing embassy staff, while Canada says it has a contingency plan to airlift staff out if necessary. Canadian officials have announced plans to resettle more than 20,000 vulnerable Afghans, including women leaders, human rights workers and reporters.
The ceremony in Mexico City was as solemn as it was significant. Delegation leaders representing Venezuela's President Nicolás Maduro and the country's principal opposition parties signed an agreement to initiate negotiations to restore peaceful coexistence in the trouble-torn country. Acting as the facilitator for the negotiations, Norway's representative has presented a 7-point agenda. It includes political rights for all, respect for human rights and accountability, electoral guarantees, including verifiable observation, respect for the state of law, and the lifting of economic sanctions imposed by the international community.
The more contagious Delta variant of the coronavirus has spread across the Philippines, bringing the death toll to a 4-month high. The country has seen more than 29,000 deaths and nearly 1.7 million infections. In an attempt to slow the spread of COVID, the capital Manila has been placed under the tightest quarantine curbs as residents fight for 2 things they badly need right now: a vaccine and economic assistance.
Two small children stabbed in the heart with a spearfishing gun. Their own father allegedly leaving their bodies in a ditch in Mexico. Authorities say 40-year-old surf instructor Matthew Taylor Coleman from Santa Barbara, California, confessed to murdering his 2-year-old son and 10-month-old daughter this week in Mexico, telling the FBI he was driven to the killings after being enlightened by QAnon and Illuminati conspiracy theories. Police and federal agents were called in after the children were reported missing by their mother. Authorities tracking Coleman's cell phone to Mexico. Surveillance video images released by authorities show Coleman checking into a hotel with his children August 7th. Just before 3 a.m. on August 9th, he packs them up and leaves the hotel, returning hours later alone. He was stopped by border officials while returning to the United States. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers finding what appeared to be blood on the vehicle's registration paperwork, but no children.
Tonight, tragedy as gunshots ring out at an Albuquerque middle school, killing 1 student.
Washington Middle School.
Just before 12:30, Albuquerque police responding to shots fired as students were on their lunch break outside the school building. That's when the suspect pulled out a gun and began firing several shots.
We have 1 juvenile, 2 gunshot wounds.
The student who shot has unfortunately passed away at this time.
This was just the 3rd day of school for students at Washington Middle School. As shots rang out, students running for their lives, sheltering in place for hours. Police quickly arriving on scene and arresting the suspect.
Algeria has observed the first of 3 days of national mourning as wildfires continue to burn across the north of the country. Fanned by strong winds and searing heat, the fires have killed 69 people since Monday. Tanya Dendrinos has the story.
Flames licking at the treetops. A wall of fire quickly swells. It's a devastating scene. Villagers on the front line, armed only with branches and shovels. On the tarmac at Algiers airport, a lifeline. 2 waterbombing planes chartered by the Algerian government from the EU, with another 2 arriving from France. But for those already firmly in the grip of this battle, government support seems non-existent.
The South Korean Navy has taken delivery of its first locally developed 3,000-ton submarine, widely believed to be able to fire submarine-launched ballistic missiles. The military has not confirmed this capability, but it's a tactical game changer because it's harder to detect and intercept missiles fired from a moving submarine. A commissioning ceremony was held Friday on the southern island of Koje at a shipyard belonging to Daewoo Shipbuilding and Marine Engineering. The sub is called the Tosan An Changho, named after the South Korean independence fighter. It's 83.5 meters long and 9.6 meters wide and can carry up to 50 crew. It can fire missiles from its 6 vertical launching tubes. That makes South Korea only the 8th country in the world able to produce 3,000-ton class submarines with its own technology.